Good evening, friends, and I once again welcome you to the English class. I hope that you got something new from our previous class. I received a huge number of queries from the students, which is really amazing. It showed the involvement of the students. This is a very good sign. Students' involvement is the outcome of students' interest. If you take interest in any subject, the subject in return will start taking interest in you, and the result would be the best one. Moreover, the involvement of students always encourages the teacher, and the teacher finds the way to give his best to his students. And when a teacher gives his best, the students find themselves in the best category. Friends, we are trying to give our best so that you can be benefited the best. But the limitation is that in online classes, it is not possible to make any direct conversation between the teacher and the students, which is required, making the classes an interesting one. Anyway, send your queries as you are doing so that we can make it more vivid. All right. Now, let us go to the main part. We started our class with determiners, and we are going to discuss more on it. Our today's topics are interrogative adjectives and distributive adjectives. I think there is no need to discuss about possessive adjectives and demonstrative adjectives, because you know a little bit of about these adjectives. I just cite examples. Possessive adjectives is, for example, his, her, mine, my, your, our, etc. And demonstrative adjectives, this, that, these, those, etc. So, friends, I need your full attention. So, today we will begin with the interrogative adjectives, but before going to that, we should have a talk about adjectives. Although you know this, but it is necessary to recall the definition of adjective, otherwise the discussion will lose its momentum. All right. Now, what is an adjective? An adjective is a word which adds something to the meaning of a noun, Examples: he is a good boy. Now, here good is adjective because it is saying something about the noun boy. Clear? Next one, this is a dark room. Dark. How is the room? The room is dark. Dark is the adjective. It qualifies the noun room. Next one, a busy person has little time to spare. Now, a busy person is busy. The busy here is the adjective. Has little time. Time is noun, and little, that means he has no time to spare. Now, let us see what the Oxford Dictionary says about an adjective. It says, an adjective is a word used to describe or modify a noun or pronoun. An adjective is a word used to describe or modify a noun or pronoun. Now, Oxford Dictionary is telling about pronoun also. So here I have cited an example using pronoun. He seems angry. He is the pronoun, that means it is used instead of anyone's name, and angry is the adjective. He seems angry. Now here we move to interrogative adjective. Let me read out the definition of interrogative adjective. Now, when, which, whose and what are used with nouns to ask questions, they become interrogative adjectives. When, which, whose and what are used with nouns to ask questions. This is important. With nouns to ask questions, they become interrogative adjectives. Examples: which boy did it? Which boy? That means boy is noun, and this word is asking about a noun, that means boy. Next one: what book do you want? Now, what book, noun. What do we say? Which, whose and what are used with nouns to ask question. Used with nouns. Here, which used with noun, what used with noun, whose pen is this, whose used with nouns. That's why these are interrogative adjectives. Now remember, what and whose are used in a general sense, but which requires a particular person or thing to point it out from a group. Requires a particular person or thing to point it out from a group. Now here, which boy? There may be a group of 10 boys or 20 boys or 30 boys, I don't know, but to point out a particular boy from a group. All right, next one, look at the examples below. Now here is something interesting. Which of those do you want? Which of those do you want? Answer is, I want the red one out from a group of things. Next one, what is he? He is a doctor. This is his profession. Next one, whose is this? This is mine, means I possess this. Now here, look, the three words that already we used in case of interrogative adjectives. Now here also the three words have been used: which, what, whose. But here these are not used with nouns. Now let us explain. Which in the second example, that means the second time when we used it, which in the second example not used with any noun, is used to know about a particular thing out from a group of things. Clear? Now back to that. Which of these do you want? Again, what in the second example, not used with any noun, is used to know about the profession or a social status of a person. Back. What is he? That means the question has been asked to know about the profession or the social status of that person. Answer, he is a doctor. Next, whose in the second example, not used with any noun, is used for possession. For possession. Whose is the possessive form of who? Whose is the possessive form of who? Whose is this? That is something, and to know about this, who possesses this, the question was whose is this? Answer was this is mine. That means I possess this. Now let us go to the main point. From the discussion, what we came to know. We came to know about interrogative pronoun. These, which, what, whose, these. Here, which, what, whose are being used as interrogative pronoun. An interrogative pronoun is a pronoun which is used to ask a very specific question and to make asking questions easy. An interrogative pronoun is a pronoun which is used to ask a very specific question and to make asking questions easy. Here, which, what and whose in the above examples are used as pronouns, and hence these are interrogative pronouns. Next, we move to distributive adjective. Now, what is distributive adjective? Let us see the definition of distributive adjective. We talked about in our previous class, and the examples that we got in the previous class, the words that are used for distributive adjectives: each, every, either or either, neither, etc. Now, let us see the definition first. An adjective used to refer each and every person or thing separately is called distributive adjective. An adjective used to refer to each and every person or thing separately is called distributive adjective. Let us see the examples. Each boy was given a chocolate. Each boy was given a chocolate. That means a chocolate was distributed to each of the boys. Next example, give a rupee to every beggar. Give a rupee to every beggar. Next example, I don't know either of them. I don't know either of them or either of them. Next one, I like neither of them. Now these are the examples. Now we will move to know more about distributive adjectives. Now, use of each. Each refers to every one of two or more persons. Two or more persons. That means minimum two. Minimum two, maximum no limits. Persons or things. Each refers to every one of two or more persons or things. Each is used of any number, say 2 or 50. That means you can add more and more. So it should be minimum 2. Example, I gave a book to each of the 2 boys. There were 2 boys and I gave 1 book each. Here I gave a book to each of the 2 boys. Next one, each is always singular if it has no antecedent. Each is always singular if it has no antecedent. Now, what is antecedent? A word or phrase, etc., to which another word refers. A word or phrase, etc., to which another word refers. So, each is always singular if it has no antecedent. Example, each has his own ideas. Each has his own ideas. Next, when the antecedent is plural, if there is any antecedent, if each has any antecedent, in that case, when the antecedent is plural, each also is plural. Each also is plural. Example, the boys each. Now here is the antecedent, boys. The boys each have done their work. Their. Here, look at this. The boys. This is the antecedent of each. The boys is plural. Boys have. Now we have used have, done, their. This is plural number. Their works. The boys each have done their works. So when the antecedent is plural, each also is plural. Next, when each is put before each noun, when each is put before each noun, that is used before noun, the pronoun and the verb should be singular. The pronoun and the verb should be singular. Here we are citing an example, and you will get that the verb is singular. Each man, singular number, M-A-N, man. And each woman, singular number. Each man and each woman gets, here third person singular number, gets. In present indefinite tense, verb gets s or es if the subject is in third person singular number. You all know this. Each man and each woman gets $1. All right. Next, use of every. Every refers to one or more than two only. Every refers to one or more than two only. Or more than two only. Example, I gave a book to every one of the 5 girls. Every refers to one or more than two only. Example, I gave a book to every one of the 5 girls. Next, when every is put before each noun, the pronoun and the verb should be singular. This is also like each. Every star and every planet, star singular, planet singular, star noun, planet noun. So every star and every planet is. This is the singular number of beaver. Is the handiwork of God. Every star and every planet is the handiwork of God. So let us read out again use of every. Every refers to one or more than two only. Example, I gave a book to every one of the 5 girls. Then when every is put before each noun, that means used before noun, the pronoun and the verb should be singular. Example, every star and every planet is the handiwork of God. Next, use of either. Either means A, sub number 1, one or other of two. or number 2 each of 2 and is followed by a singular noun. Now I am citing the example. This can be done in either way, one way or the other. This can be done in either way or either way. That means one way or the other. Let me explain. Let you want to go from Silchar to Karimganj. You can choose your mode of transport either by road or by rail. Got it? So you have two options and you have to choose between the two. Either you may go by road or you may go by rail. Next, there are towns on either bank or either bank of the Brahmaputra. That means here either bank means both banks. That means in the north bank and in the south bank. Clear? So number 2 each of 2 and is followed by a singular noun, each of 2. This is the second example is that each of 2. There are towns on either bank, river bank, that is both banks of the Brahmaputra. That means either in the north bank and also in the south bank. Next one, either is always used of two persons or things. Either is always used of two persons or things. Examples, when either means each of 2. When either means each of 2, example will be either will do. Either will do. That means Mr. X and Mr. Y, either Mr. X can do or either Mr. Y will do. Next one, when either means one or other of 2. When either means one or other of 2, either of you may go. Either of you may go. Either Mr. X or Mr. Y. Next, use of neither. Neither means not either, that means opposite to either. That is not the one and not the other. Neither means not either, that is not the one and not the other, and is followed by a singular noun. Simple thing, neither is the opposite of either. I want neither book. There are 2 books and you don't want both of the books. That's why neither. Clear? Next, use of both. Here some interesting things you will find, and we should give emphasis on this, because a little mistake can cause a great thing in English. The word both is used to associate 2 entities. The word both is used to associate 2 entities. Entities, what does it mean? Entities, things with distinct existence. This is entities, things with distinct existence in an affirmative context. Affirmative, this is important. Affirmative, here affirmative is used. Affirmative context. Now what is context? Parts that surround a word or passage and clarify its meaning. Parts that surround a word or passage and clarify its meaning. As a quantifier, it has the meaning of 2. Both means 2 as a quantifier. Example, both can be used as a determiner directly before a noun but not before a pronoun. Both can be used as a determiner directly before a noun, but not before a pronoun, not directly before a pronoun. Example, both answers are right. Now, answers, noun, used before noun, both. I support both teams. This is noun, teams, used before noun, but I prefer Mumbai Indians. Clear? As a determiner, both can be used directly before a noun, but not before a pronoun. Next one, both or both of can be used as a determiner before another determiner. Both or both of can be used as a determiner before another determiner, notably before an article or a possessive or before a pronoun. Now, let us see the examples. I support both or both of the teams, but I prefer Mumbai Indians. Now, when I said that notably before an article, here I support both or both of the teams, the article, that is used before article. Next, or a possessive, both or both of my parents, this is possessive, my, both or both of my parents are still working. Now, notably before an article, here before an article, or a possessive, here possessive, or before a pronoun, both of us. Very much like playing cricket. Now, both of us, you can't say both us, both of us. So, you can't use both directly before what? A pronoun. Both of us pronoun, very much like playing cricket. Next example, I like these two shirts, and I want to buy both of them. This is pronoun. Them is pronoun. I like these two shirts and I want to buy both of them. Now, both can be used as a determiner placed after a noun. In the previous examples, we saw the use of both before noun. Now, here placed, this is used after noun. Both can be used as a determiner placed after a noun or a pronoun. So, that means we can use both as a determiner after a noun and after a pronoun. Now, in the case of nouns, if it is used after noun or it is placed after noun as a determiner, this structure is only used with the subject of a sentence. And in the case of pronouns, it is used with subject pronouns and object pronouns. We'll understand it from the examples. Example number 1, the teams both. This is the subject and this is noun. The subject is the noun. When it is said that in the case of nouns, this structure is only used with the subject of a sentence, and the subject of this sentence is the teams. The teams both played very well. Now, here in this sentence, the subject is the teams, and both is used after that noun which is the subject of that sentence, both is used or is placed after noun and used as what? Determiner. The teams both played very well. Next example, they both played very well, but we both played very badly. Now, in the case of pronoun, it is written that in the case of pronoun, it is used with subject pronouns and object pronouns. That means in that sentence, the subject should be pronoun and the object should also be pronoun. Here, they is the subject used after they, that means used after a pronoun. They both used as determiner, played very well, but we both, this is the object pronoun. We both played very badly. Another example, we want to wish you both good luck. We want to wish you both, you, pronoun used after pronoun and used here, you is the object pronoun. Here you is the object pronoun and both the determiner is placed after that object pronoun. We want to wish you both good luck. Another example, I like them both. I like them both. Both is placed after that pronoun and this is object pronoun. Clear? Next, both can be used as a pronoun. This is also interesting. Both can be used as a pronoun. Now, guys, you know what is pronoun, that the word that substitutes a noun is called pronoun. We all know. Now, let us see the examples. Which do you like? There is a question, which do you like? And your answer is I like both. Here. You are not using the names. You are not using the names. You are using what? Both. And this is used instead of the names. That means here it becomes a pronoun. So we can use both as pronoun also. Another example, you can have one or the other. You can have one or the other, but you can't have both. There are two things. Say for instance, there are two things and someone told you, you can have one or the other. There are two things. Say for instance, one orange and one apple. You can take either orange or apple, but you can't take orange and apple together. So instead of that orange and apple, here both is used as pronoun. Next one, both and. That means both and will be used together. Both and are used as correlating coordinators. Are used as correlating coordinators. Examples, both James and John are excellent dancers. Both James and John are excellent dancers. That means we are talking about the talent of dancing talent, I must say, dancing talent of James and John. So in a sentence we want to tell about them. So how can we tell this? By using both. Both James and John are excellent dancers. Another example, both you and your father, both you and your father have been very helpful. So next, in the last class, I had written these two sentences at the end, and I asked you whether I had committed any mistake or not. So many students had given their opinions, and I must appreciate them. Today I am answering it, or rather I want to clarify it. Now in the first sentence, it is written, he plays the violin. In my last class, I told that we use article the before a musical instrument. Before a musical instrument. Now here, both the sentences are correct. Both the sentences are correct. He plays the violin and he has a violin. Both the sentences are correct. Now in the number 1 or the first sentence, he plays the violin. Now here D is used before a musical instrument. Now when it becomes a musical instrument? When someone uses the instrument for musical purpose only, then it is treated as a musical instrument in English grammar. That means if you have a violin and if you play it, then only it becomes a musical instrument. Otherwise, it remains a general thing. And in the second example, he has a violin. That means he possesses a violin. Now he has a violin. He possesses a violin. Here, violin is not treated as a musical instrument rather than a general thing only. Now when it becomes a musical instrument, when we use any instrument for playing any tunes or for creating any tunes, then only it will be treated as musical instrument in English grammar. And here a violin means violin, it's an object. But when it used for playing music, it becomes a musical instrument, and only then we use the before it. Now in the last class, after hearing my last class, I gave 10 sentences to fill with proper articles. So many students sent their answers, and I also gave them if they had committed any mistake, I just clarify that. Now here I am just answering my questions. Number 1, Howrah is the Sheffield of India. Howrah is the Sheffield of India. Here the is used to make the proper noun a common. Next one, Arpita is the taller of them both. Here the is used as instrumental the, say as a contrast. Next one, he hit me on the head. Here the means my head. This is called possessive the. Instead of my, we used the. This is called possessive the. Next one, a Mr. Bose rang up me. Here a used as sense of certain. A is used as sense of certain. Next one, we need a Vallabhbhai Patel. A, here a person like Vallabhbhai Patel to tackle the situation. Now here the is used as familiar the. That means we have already known about the situation, and that's why the here is used as familiar the. Next one, the beauty of Cleopatra was well known. Now the beauty, here beauty is abstract noun, and the is used before that abstract noun to make it common. Next one, he is a PC Sarkar I see. A PC Sarkar means like PC Sarkar. Next, land is sold by the acre. the here means this is used before unit of measurement. This is before used unit of measurement, and here the means every or per. Land is sold here by every acre. Next one, every poet cannot be a Ravindranath. That means every poet cannot be like Ravindranath. Clear? Next, look at the sentences given below and find out which parts of speech the belongs to in the examples. That means here the is used in every sentences, and you have to find out the parts of speech of these. The beauty of Cleopatra was well known. The apples of this garden taste superb. The more the merrier, the sooner the better. Hope you will respond as you did after the previous class, and keep on responding. It makes me just it encourages me, and just try to prepare myself to the best so that I can give you the best. So guys, see you in the next class. Until then, stay safe, take care of yourself, and good night.